From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. The federal New Democrats will soon have a new leader.
Alberta MP Heather McPherson, union leader Rob Ashton, social worker Tennille Johnston, filmmaker Avi Lewis, and farmer Tony McQuail are vying for the party's top job. The seat was left vacant after former leader Jagmeet Singh stepped down after the party suffered its worst election result last year. The NDP's roughly 100,000 members will pick the new leader through a ranked ballot system where the first candidate to get more than 50% support is the winner. Voting has now wrapped, and the winner and new federal party leader tasked with rebuilding the New Democrat Party will be announced later this morning. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
Meanwhile, Canadian companies are key players in a U.S. company's plan to tap what it believes might be the world's largest oil fields in Greenland. Newly formed Texas-based company Greenland Energy is planning to drill 2 exploration wells later this year on a remote peninsula on the island's east coast. U.S. ambitions to annex Greenland were in the geopolitical spotlight just a few months ago, but Greenland Energy CEO Robert Price says that's not factoring into any of the plans.
I don't think that's on the table. I don't. We are focused on our project. We are focused on respecting the Greenlandic people, their culture, their independence, and doing what our part is in helping them become more independent and revenue generating.
Greenland Energy has hired a rig from Calgary Stampede Drilling to dig the wells. Quebec City-based Degagné is in charge of moving the supplies to the site on a specialized Arctic cargo ship. Overseas now, where Iran continues to lash out at its neighbors in retaliation for attacks by Israel and the U.S., this morning, Saudi Arabia's defense ministry says it intercepted and destroyed 10 drones. Earlier, Kuwait announced its air defense systems intercepted 4 drones. Meanwhile, officials from several Middle Eastern countries are meeting in Pakistan, seeking an off-ramp from the hostilities. 14 museums from central and southern Saskatchewan have formed a new association. The South Central Museums Association will share and preserve the stories of the communities the museums are in. Now, the association's website says the museums it represents holds artifacts belonging to early settlers in their communities. And finally, Pope Leo is celebrating Palm Sunday before tens of thousands of people in St. Peter's Square. The celebration kicks off Holy Week. Palm Sunday marks Jesus' triumphant entrance into Jerusalem in the time leading up to his crucifixion, which Christians observe on Good Friday, and then his resurrection on Easter Sunday. For many people, however, Leo's first Holy Week recalls the final suffering days of Pope Francis's life. He died on April 21st last year on what was Easter Monday. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays are still perfect on the young season after Ernie Clement hit an RBI single in the 11th inning for an 8-7 win over the visiting Athletics. Dylan Cease struck out 12 in his Jays debut. Over to a busy night in the NHL, the St. Louis Blues spanked the hapless Toronto Maple Leafs 5-1. The Montreal Canadiens beat the Nashville Predators 4-1 for their 4th straight win in a row. The Winnipeg Jets kept their postseason hopes alive with a 4-2 victory over the Colorado Avalanche. The Edmonton Oilers defeated the visiting Anaheim Ducks 4-2. The Calgary Flames burned the Vancouver Canucks 7-3. And the Tampa Bay Lightning doubled up on the Ottawa Senators 4-2. And finally, Canada's Matt Dunstone suffered his first loss at the World Men's Curling Championship, posting an 8-3 defeat to Scotland's Ross White in the afternoon draw. Canada, which opened with 2 wins on Friday, faces the United States on Sunday. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.